It's been just designated as one of America's most endangered rivers, the Passaic River that runs through backyards and the most populated in New Jersey.
Vanessa Murdock takes us on a journey along the Passaic and also shares why the just declared endangered designation is not all that bad.
From its sources in Mendham, New Jersey, the Passaic River flows roughly 80 miles, passing Newark and emptying into Newark Bay. Along the way, it boasts the destination-worthy Patterson Great Falls.
Gorgeous, striking.
And offers refuge from the daily grind for members of the Passaic River Rowing Association in Lyndhurst.
1 foot in and down.
Jo Victorio Sharma shares she's been rowing on the Passaic for 20 years now.
You see the highway right across, but when you're on the river, you're like in a bubble.
Sculling boats start with singles, which are these boats here.
Association President Jeffrey Gingold shares the first rowing clubs on the Passaic date back to the 1850s.
By the 1890s, the papers were reporting about the smell of the river, the pollution.
Rowing clubs started to disappear along with the wildlife.
We used to make jokes like, oh, you don't want to get the water on you, you don't know, like it's toxic.
But in recent years, this river made a comeback.
The fish jumped into my deck. 40 years ago, that wouldn't have been the case.
Decades of industrial pollution, most notably the Diamond Alkali site in Newark where Agent Orange was manufactured, devastated the lower 17 miles of the Passaic. In 1984, the EPA declared it a Superfund site. Today, it remains one of the largest in the country. The Dundee Dam in Garfield acts as a barrier along the river's winding path, separating safe from the start of the Superfund site.
Kayaking is perfectly fine. You don't want to swim in the water. The water column itself is not as bad as it once was.
Michelle Lango with New York, New Jersey Baykeeper shares thanks to the EPA and several local organizations, active cleanup started in the early 2000s. And the worst of the worst polluting sites were recently addressed, including the Diamond Alkali site.
Everything is safely encapsulated.
Langa says up next, dredging and capping the Superfund site to keep pollutants out of the water column. That's more than a decade of work, and in part why American Rivers just designated the Passaic one of America's most endangered rivers of 2025. Leah Mastropolo with American Rivers shares the biggest threat today to a cleaner future for the Passaic: funding and staffing cuts at the EPA.
What we're trying to achieve with this listing is to, call on the EPA leadership to really reaffirm this strong commitment to the river and to the people of Newark.
This is a lifeline.
The Passaic is in Tanisha Garner's backyard. She's president of Ironbound Super Neighborhood Council, and along with her Newark neighbors, works to detox the river with cleanups. At the most recent in March, volunteers partnered with Alma Earth Group. Founder Isaiah Cruz says for the past 3 years, he's worked with the community to remove invasive common reeds and replace them with natives.
This is called broadleaf cattail. The most important thing is they remove toxins and heavy metals from the soil.
Cruz actually nominated the Passaic for America's most endangered rivers.
It still could use a lot more attention.
And just imagine once we start cleaning it up, that the harmony that it can create for us and for Earth.
In Newark, imagining a Passaic with pristine banks and swimmable water. A Passaic that will never again be considered one of America's most endangered rivers. Vanessa Murdock, CBS News, New York.
Stay with CBS News New York throughout the month of April. It is Earth Month, and we'll be taking a look at ways to protect our planet.